Welcome back to the channel. It is that time. Maiden voyage for the van and for me. A week from now, I will be on a ferry to Europe. But is my van ready? And am I ready? Let's go and find out. Right, so I've got a checklist of things that I need. Number one on that checklist is I need to be legal. Got my passport, that's all good. Got all my insurance for my van and everything while I'm abroad. Breakdown cover, European breakdown cover, that's important. Breathalyzers, because I don't know if it's just France, but at least France and maybe some other countries that I'll be visiting, you need your own breathalyzers, safety triangle, and high vis. So I have actually got all of them. Yeah, they're things that you don't actually think about. When filming this video at home, I did also forget, you need one of these, UK sticker, and then on the front, got to have your deflectors. And then one final thing, which I didn't even know about, and my dad remembered last minute, you could have a bulb set, a bulb kit. So you have to have at least one replacement bulb of every bulb. And this is a weird one. I'm not going to Portugal, but did you know in Portugal, it's illegal to film while driving. Dash cams in Portugal are illegal. There you go. There's one tip that people might not know. So safety-wise and legalness-wise, I think that's a tick. Definitely an important one for me. It's food. If you watch the channel for a while, you will definitely know how fussy I am. I might struggle to find food that I will eat while I am in Europe. I suppose every country has chips. Other than that, I might struggle a bit. So I'm taking a lot of food with me. I'm taking a lot of non-perishables. So cans of soup, beans. I was going to say tinned veg, tinned potatoes, but you can get veg everywhere. The one thing you can't get everywhere though is Heinz beans. And for me, if you're having beans, it's got to be Heinz. If you're having tomato soup, it's got to be Heinz. So I will be taking a few cans of this sort of stuff. Everything that I can buy over there, I'll buy over there. But yeah, this trip isn't going to be mad spending. I'm going to enjoy myself as much as I can, but I'm not going to spend a stupid amount of money because when we get back, we're going to be looking at buying a new van anyway. So I need to save some funds for that. Ooh, it's like musical chairs. Next up, safety. It's winter time. It's the end of November now. Gets dark about 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm going to be possibly in mountainous areas at certain points during this trip. So, a head torch. If I need to do anything in the middle of the night, it's going to be pitch black. So I'm going to need a head torch. First aid kit, always got to have that. That's always in the van anyway, but I am going to check through that and make sure I've got everything I'm going to need. Got peanut allergy, so plenty of Piriton. This is the other thing with being abroad, eating food that you don't understand what the words say for what the food is, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've got to be careful with that. I suppose just some basic tools in the van in case anything breaks and it needs fixing. Touch wood, we won't have too many problems in terms of things going wrong and needing sorting while I'm over there, because that's a whole hassle in itself. But I suppose at the same time it's all part of the fun. I'm going to take the Noco Boost, so I've always got power no matter what. Now onto our next part of the checklist, and this is a real big one. If you're not correctly prepared for this, it can make the trip a lot less enjoyable, and that is warmth. Need a lot of warmth. Like I say, time of year, it's not good. I've got a plan for freezing temperatures. I am possibly going to some mountainous areas, so snow is a very likely possibility. So I need to be warm. I'm taking my duvet with me as well as my sleeping bag, so I can have that extra bit of coziness while I'm sleeping. Lots and lots of warm clothes, thick jumpers, coats, woolly hats, gloves, all that sort of stuff. Hot water bottle, that's definitely going with me. And one of my diesel heaters. And I've been toying about with them. I've been trying them both out, seeing which one's going to work best for me. So this is the N4 from LF Bros. It's got a huge bonus in terms of use for me, and that's the fact that it's got a timer on it. I can go off on a hike and have it set up to come on a few hours later, just before my arrival. So when I jump back in the van's already warm, And then obviously the same with the night. I can have it set up to come on, say 6 o'clock in the morning. So then when I get up, a couple hours down the line, the van's already warm. That's a big thing I've noticed in the winter in my van is I'm normally quite warm through the night. Unless it's really cold temperatures, it's not too bad. But it's when you get up in the morning, you've got to get out your sleeping bag and get dressed. That's the bit that's not quite so fun. So the N4 having a timer on it is a huge advantage. However, the only thing with the N4 is the height of it. Because my van's so small, I can't realistically fit one of these diesel heaters inside the van. It has to go at the back of the van, tucked underneath. So that's why I've decided to take the N2. It doesn't have the timer on it, but it's slightly better for use for me because I can tuck it under the van. I know it's safe. I know it's tucked away. It's out of the elements. And it still does the same job in terms of keeping me warm. They're both 5 kilowatt, but it's just a little bit more compact for me in terms of height, so I can fit it underneath the van and use it all night. So that's a big thing for warmth. If you haven't got a diesel heater in your van, definitely check out LF Bros. I'll leave a link in the description once again. You guys can go and check these heaters out and stay warm this winter, hopefully. In the last couple of days, we've sorted out some extra bits of heating just in case it really does get cold. So what we've done to start with, I've doubled up my curtains now. So before I only had one set, now I've got two. The blackout thermal, so that'll be the lowest better. I borrowed some of the internal thermal insulation window covers. We've actually made some for the back as well. Under my normal blinds in the back, I've got some insulation. I've also got, I don't know why me sock monkeys there. I've also got a heater that goes on the hob and supposedly gets really warm, and after you turn the hob off, keeps heat coming out. We've also made a tea light flower pot sort of thing, which I'll show you now. This is the tea light burner. Put a few tea lights on there, and the pot actually gets really warm. We've tried it at home. Obviously, safety wise, that's not brilliant. So the idea is you put this whole thing, once you've lit the tea lights, into a saucepan. It can either go on the rings on the saucepan, or it can be put, obviously nothing will be on the side at the time, out the way there. So when I'm sleeping, I'm here, far enough away from it. So that'll be interesting to try, and I'll show you the heater now. Obviously, like I say, you turn your burner on, and it's meant to get pretty hot. Using fire, open flame, tea lights, naked flame, in a confined space isn't ideal. So any of these things that I'm showing you, do your own research. I know with the candles at least, they need oxygen to burn. If your van is totally sealed, you're gonna have problems. So just be mindful of that, be really careful. Obviously with the other heater, it's on a gas stove, so be super careful with that if you decide to get one of them. For me, a nice thick winter duvet, that's all I used last night, and I was perfectly fine. Obviously, there's one big thing that's gonna stop me going on this Europe trip, and that is if my van is not up to scratch. So, we've got to do all our vehicle checks. Tyre pressure, engine oil, screen washer fluid, coolant, all your normal stuff. And it is actually booked in for a service as well. Definitely worth giving your van a good once over, because I'd rather do it now and have that bit of peace of mind than get over there, something goes wrong, and I've got to sort it while I'm in a foreign country. I also carry a bottle of antifreeze in the van, and a bottle of engine oil, so I've always got that just in case I need it. I suppose if there's one more thing that would be really useful, and I'm not very good at this normally, that's a plan, or at least a loose plan. My idea was to just get the ferry over and just go for it, see where I end up. However, that's probably not the best advice, because like me, if you've got a time schedule, I've got 3 weeks, you need a loose plan so you know roughly where you are on your trip, because you don't want to be stuck thousands of miles away and you've only got 4 days until you ferry home. And also, you don't want the opposite. You don't want to be 100 miles away from finishing your trip and you've got 5 days left and you've got to just hang about. So I have actually loosely planned my route. I'm not going to stick to it like crazy, but it's just a bit of a loose plan. I've got a few hit points, so a week in I'll need to be this sort of area, 2 weeks in this area, and then just so I know my sort of time schedule and where I am. Hopefully that'll make the trip a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful. But yeah, a loose plan at least. If not, a proper structured out plan, an itinerary. It's probably better for a lot of people. But for me, I like to have a bit of flexibility. I am now in Europe, currently in Belgium. So if you do want to keep up to date with my European trip, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know as soon as I upload my next vlog. Yeah. Lots of European videos coming up very, very soon. And I think I'm prepared. If not, it's a bit late now because I'm already here. But thank you very, very much for watching. And as always, look after yourselves.